Just want to welcome everybody. Thank you all for being here. This is a great moment in Syracuse University's football history. In keeping with the great leadership of our football program in the past few years, today we will present the 30th football coach in our football history. It's been an honor for me to work with our athletic director, Mark Coyle, on this selection. With that said, I want to introduce you to our great and our hard-working athletic director, Mark Coyle.
Thank you, Floyd, and it is truly a special day for not only our football program and our football students in our department, but also for our institution. I want to take a moment to thank several people who helped me during this process. I'd like to thank Chancellor Syverud and his wife, Dr. Chang. I'd like to thank Steve Barnes, the chairman of our Board of Trustees, and Bob Myron, the chair of our athletic board, and our entire Board of Trustees for their support. I'd like to thank our football students. 2 weeks ago I had a meet with that group of students in this room and let them know we were going through a transition. And I appreciate how they conducted themselves for the past 2 weeks, and I appreciate their patience as we worked our way through this process. I want to make sure I thank our loyal fans. I've only been here 6 months, but one thing I've learned is that this institution has incredible fans and fans that have tremendous loyalty, and I'm so grateful for that loyalty and their support of our program, so thank them. I also want to make sure that I thank Herm Frazier, John Cunningham, Floyd, Kim Keenan-Kirkpatrick, Rhonda McFarland, Dan French, and Gabe Nugent for their help. I worked closely with them on this process, and I appreciate their help very much. And I also want to thank our staff. I can't tell you how many athletic department staff popped into my office, shot me a text message, shot me an email of support, and I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate all the hard work you guys do behind the scenes. When we started this process 2 weeks ago, I wanted to make sure that we found the best fit for Syracuse football. And how I defined best fit was simply, I wanted somebody with tremendous honesty and integrity. I wanted somebody who would be focused on the students and the welfare of our students. I wanted somebody who was innovative and had an exciting brand of football. And I wanted somebody who had a commitment to winning. And I'm confident that we found that person in Coach Babers. And before I bring him up, I just want to make sure that I publicly thank Coach Babers, his wife Susan, and their children for believing in us. We are so appreciative that you believe in Syracuse, and I promise you we'll do special things together. So with that, please let me welcome head coach Dino Babers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank Chancellor Syverud and his wife, Dr. Chang. My ex-president, President Ellen Mazie from BGSU, along with my old athletic director, Chris Kingston, along with my family, the BGSU football team. Without them, this would not be possible. They played fantastic for me for 2 years. I'd be amiss if I didn't thank my wife, Susan, my oldest daughter, Brianna Lee, in South Korea, my second daughter, Tasha Marie, in Kihei, Maui, along with Jasmine Leanne from College Station, Texas, and Paris Capri, who will soon be attending Syracuse University. Thank you. There's some coaching mentors that I would like to acknowledge. Homer Smith, a man that was an offensive coordinator, a Hall of Famer, who spent a lot of time between the University of Alabama and UCLA, had a great impact on my life. He recently passed away from cancer not too long ago, but I'm in constant contact with Kathy Smith, his wife, and without his influence on me, I probably would not be standing here. I have to throw out kudos to my college football coach, Dick Tomey, Hall of Fame coach, taught me all about the little things, the discipline, paying attention, being consistently good, not occasionally great, and understanding that you have to make sure that there's a physical part of this game that you can't let go away just because of some of the things that you do. You have to embrace the physical part of it, and our football team here at Syracuse will. And last but not least, a man that had a huge impact on my life, Art Briles from Baylor University, affectionately known as Grandpa, although he looks like he's about 20 years old. He taught a different style of football to me. It was a situation where he said, just let it simmer. Put it in the crock pot. Just let it simmer. Don't think much about it. And I promise you, after a year or two, it'll change the way you think. Art, you are absolutely right. Thank you so much. Why Syracuse? Why not Syracuse? Why not? Tell me. You tell me why not. The tradition here is unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're talking about 44. We're talking about Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little. Heck, I know 39, Larry Zonka. Okay? The tradition here is unbelievable. And the fan support, we need to give them what they deserve. And that's what I came here to do. This is not a destination job for me. I mean, this can be a destination job for me. Sorry. Little nervous. I promise you this, okay? I promise you this. I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, okay? I started school in Norfolk, Virginia. I graduated high school from San Diego, California. And I lived everywhere in between. My dad was 21 years Navy. He's buried in the National Cemetery in Houston next to his brother. I've been north, I've been south. I actually have not been to the state of New York, except to play the University of Buffalo. But me moving around is not a handicap, it's a blessing. Okay? I've had an opportunity to meet and greet a lot of different people in this great nation of ours. And I'm hoping that I can be embraced into the city and the state of New York, because I really believe there's special things that are going to happen here. This is a move of faith, belief without evidence. I really believe that we're going to start something that people are going to be talking about for a long, long time. What do you expect off the football field? We will be involved in the community, okay? These young men are already stellar academically. This academic institution, Syracuse, unmatched. With the academics, why can't we go out and get the best players in the country? And we start right here in the state of New York, and we spirograph out. I'm a little bit older than the last guy. So for you guys that don't know what a spirograph is, Google it, okay? Google it. We're going to work our way out, and we'll go wherever we need to be to make Syracuse great. On the football field, stay with me. I want everybody here, I know some of you guys are on your cameras. Close your eyes for me. Stay with me. Close your eyes. I'm looking. I'm not going to keep talking unless your eyes are closed. That means you got to trust your iPad is going to stay on, okay? Close your eyes for me. Close your eyes. You're holding us up. Front row, you're holding us up. Close your eyes. Visualize this. Visualize this. You're in the Carrier Dome. The house is filled. The feeling is electric. The noise is deafening. You have a defense that is relentless. You have a special teams that has been well coached. You have an offense that will not huddle. And you have a game that's faster than you've ever seen on turf. Open your eyes. That's going to be a reality. That's going to be Syracuse football. Thank you.
Let's do the jersey real quick.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So we'll go over here.
She wants my name on it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. put this one down for you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you, Mark. We'll now open it up for questions for Mark Coyle. Again, please raise your hand, introduce yourselves via the microphone, and ask your questions.
Mark, I know when we talked at the start of the season, you said you were going to kind of wait until the end of the year to make a call with Scott. You went with a couple days before the final game, or 4 days. What played into that timing and that decision?
Obviously, if you looked across the national landscape and the number of openings, I thought it was critical to give us additional time. And I can tell you, having that 5 days to actively visit and talk to different candidates was a huge help for us. And so I thought it was important to give us a chance to visit with people and have those conversations earlier.
Hey, Mark Larson, Time Warner Cable News. Without getting specific, obviously, can you give us a round figure, how many candidates you had and what made Dino stand out?
Well, you just saw his personality. That stood out very clearly when we had a chance to have our conversations. I would be lying to you if I told you how many people we talked to. I can tell you we talked to a lot of very qualified people. I think going through this process a few years ago at Boise State was an asset because I was able to meet so many different coaches, agents, search firms and such. But we had lots of conversations, and we're very pleased with Coach Babers believing in us and coming to Syracuse.
Nico from Channel 3 here in town. Mark, I just wanted to ask you, the offense that Coach Babers has had the last few years, the appeal of that, especially in the controlled environment of the Carrier Dome, how much did that factor into your decision?
Well, I can't speak for Coach Babers. I'll let him address that question, but I can tell you as a former Division III football player, wide receiver, I was on cloud nine, and we did talk about how special the Dome is and how you have 7 games a year in perfect weather. And so I think that definitely played a factor, but again, I'll let Coach Babers address it as well.
Mark, when did Dino kind of pop on your radar, and when did you guys start kind of communicating and talking about Syracuse?
I think somebody of Coach Babers' success has been on our radar a long time. He's obviously been known across the country by a lot of different schools. And as I said, Chris, we had lots of conversations. And again, we had very productive conversations with Dino. And again, we're excited to have him here at Syracuse. Thank you.
We'll take questions for Coach Babers now. Again, please raise your hand for the microphone. Mark Larson.
Hey, Mark.
Check. Okay, we're on. Previous coach talked about orange juice. Can I assume you'd prefer Hawaiian punch? But
I can't afford the calories on Hawaiian punch, and I can't afford the calories on orange juice either. I'm basically a water guy, and I stay away from the soda, and I'm sure my football team will be doing the same once they meet me.
can I follow that with one more Hawaiian question? As a native, and this being Pearl Harbor Day, I was just wondering how close to Pearl Harbor maybe that you were born, and if this day had any significance with your dad being in the Navy.
It had major significance. We've been talking about it on the jet and everything coming over here. One of the things that I shared with Floyd in the back room is when I was at the University of Hawaii, Schofield Air Force Base or Army Base, and along with Hickam Air Force Base, Schofield Army Base, when you go on those bases in Hawaii, that the warehouses and the hangars still have the machine gun bullets from the Japanese planes. And obviously they've cleaned all that stuff up from now, but they left those bullet holes in those warehouses and those hangars to remind all the military men to always stay alert. You know, it can happen again. And when you're over there and you're on top of some of the ships that was sunk and you can still see the oil leaking up from that date, you realize how real that really was. So that will always be a big day in the life of any military man and any military dependent, which I am. So I take a lot of pride in remembering that stuff. I'm a little bit of a history guy.
Hey, Dino, Stephen Bailey with the Post-Standard and Syracuse.com. I think one of the questions that's kind of humming around is recruiting the Northeast and such. I know you've been all over. How important is that for the success of the program? And as you put together your staff, how big a factor is that while you look at candidates?
Well, first of all, that's a two-part. The staff, I think, if you hire good recruiters, they can recruit anywhere. We will have representation from the Northeast. But again, I think you need to, anytime you start recruiting around any great academic institution, that you need to start in your backyard. And we need to take care of the state of New York. We need to get over to New Jersey. We need to start to work to Philly. We need to shoot down that corridor, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit. And then we've got to hang down there and go back down to Florida and cross our T's and dot our I's. But we're going to always start close to home and work our way out. Thank you.
Sam Blum from the Daily Orange. I'm curious how much you actually know about the current team and how much tape you've kind of seen and kind of pieced together what you kind of have.
The current team, I've looked at some individuals. I don't have an opportunity during the season to really watch another university, but Mark has filled me in on some things. I've had some coaches doing some homework assignments on certain things to make sure that we have the right ingredients to fit. But one of the things I've always prided myself on is I'm a movie buff, okay? If I'm not doing football, that's what I do. I watch movies. I watch good movies. I watch bad movies. Whatever the best movie house around here, if you ever go in there and the lights go down and you go, hey, Coach Babers, are you in here? There's a very good chance I might say yeah, okay? And one of the movies that always grabbed me was Apollo 13. When the carbon monoxide was going up and all they had was this box of stuff, and they came in and they threw that box on the table, and they said, what is that stuff? They said, well, that's what they've got up there, and we've got to figure out a way to get that carbon monoxide down. Well, I take great pride in coming into a football team and looking at the stuff and finding out a way to make it successful. I really take a lot of pride on that, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be any different than any other place I've been to.
Coach Stephen Fonte from Channel 9 here in Syracuse, welcome. When you had us close our eyes a few minutes ago, you talked about an offense that doesn't huddle. I think a lot of people here are curious what you envision, and if you could talk a little bit about your offensive philosophy and what you envision here inside the Carrier Dome.
Well, I just don't want to talk about the offensive philosophy. I want to talk about the team philosophy. We are going to play at a very quick rate, and the defense will be. The team will be conditioned differently than it's ever been conditioned before. And this is a total program type thing. It's not just doing one thing. So it's defensively, it's special teams wise, it's the way we lift, it's the way we condition, and it's the way we play. And because of our accelerated play on all three different phases, I think it's going to help us to give it an advantage. We can't take away from the gift of the Carrier Dome and the electricity that we can provide in there and the advantage of selling that place out and having the noise level so high that the other team's offense can't operate and can't hear a snap count. This is going to take an entire Syracuse nation to get this thing done, and we have to all be in. But if we have faith, belief without evidence, if we have faith in each other, that you can fill it up and we'll do our part and we'll find a way to win, I can't see any reason why we can't be at the top of the ACC.
Hey, Dino, Nate Mink with the Post-Standard and Syracuse.com. I'm going to flip it around and ask about the defense. Through all your stops, what have you found to be the most successful way to play defense, and what qualities do you look for in a defensive coordinator?
Well, first of all, right now I have a defensive coordinator. Hopefully I can keep him, but I think it changes. It really does. I've been a part of two different styles since I've been a head coach. I've been a part of the blitz, get after them style, and then I've been a part of the Tampa 2, sit back, four-man rush, let the guys play style, and both styles have been effective with the type of offense that we play. I think the main thing is not to pigeonhole anyone, to find out exactly what our resources or our players can do, and then make sure that we do what they're best at, and then we'll recruit and figure out what we want to do down the road. We're looking for early success. Okay?
Dino, Matt Schneidman from the Daily Orange. A couple of your guys from Bowling Green have already decommitted. Is that a group you might look at to maybe fill out this recruiting class?
You know, it's kind of taboo to go back and recruit guys that you recruited. If they decommit, that's one thing. But if they're committed to Bowling Green, I can tell you I will not go after them.
Dino, we're close to the situation. I'm right here. Right?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So we're close to the situation here, we being the community and the reporters and so on and so forth. And sometimes we maybe lose track of what's right in front of us. You've come in here, you've looked around here a little bit in the last day or two. What is it that you're seeing that maybe we're missing? There's a sense here that, not hopelessness, but you've got to revive something here, and you know that. What is it that we're missing here when you look around?
I look around and I see fantastic facilities. I look around, I see a private institution with outstanding academics. The scholarship says student athlete. If we can provide a fantastic education for the student, and then we can go out as a staff and pick the right kind of athletes that can help us win, I don't understand why it can't be a marriage. I really think we have a gift to be able to have your own dome up north and to grab the community at a time like this and let them be a part of a change, something that they'll never forget for the rest of their lives. I hate to talk about another university, but I was on the rebuilding team with Baylor University. I mean, 33 years without going to a bowl game when Art Briles went there. And I was on the ground with him when we started that program. And he kept saying the exact same thing. If we win, they'll come. If we win, they'll come. But we have to do our part. That's exactly what me and my staff is going to start doing.
So you like the compound here? You like the physical, what you've seen?
I have no issues with it whatsoever. I think I can recruit very effectively to this.
Dino, Chris Carlson from the Post-Standard. You hinted that you'd like to keep your defensive coordinator, if possible. Do you have a sense of how many of your coaches from Bowling Green you'd like to bring with you here?
I want to bring all the good ones.
Do you have a sense of how many that is?
Not right now.
Hey, Dino, Mark again up here. You've gone 4 for 4 as a head coach, winning division titles. Now you got the ACC's Atlantic Division. Can you talk about the challenge of winning, making it 5 for 5?
You know, all those titles that we won 4 for 4, we never started with that. I think you need to start with the team. We find out what's going on with the team, and then we start moving people around because we have a very unique style, and we got to have men in that room that are unselfish. They're willing to think more about the team than themselves. And normally, most college football teams have enough guys that you can win. It's whether they're unselfish enough that they'll be going to the right spots so that we can win as a team, as a university, and as a community. I'm excited about looking into that room, getting an opportunity to meet these young men later and finding out exactly where they want to go with this.
Dino, kind of a quick two-parter here. When you said you think you have your defensive coordinator, do you mean Brian Ward?
Brian Ward's an excellent defensive coordinator, yes.
And then maybe for those coaches who are staying through the bowl game, if you bring Bowling Green guys, what's that situation like just knowing, well, I guess we'll see how many of them stay there and come, the timing of it, how do you sort through that?
I'm not quite sure on the question. You lost me right there at the very end. Reiterate for me, please.
Sorry, for any coaches that would, well, Brian's the interim right now at Bowling Green, so if he's there through the bowl game, what's that timing like? Does it present any challenges knowing he wouldn't be able to focus here fully until he's done?
Well, no, not at all. We're going to have coaches on the ground recruiting at the end of today. You just haven't seen them yet. Okay, they're on the launching pad, ready to go.
Thank you, Coach, very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.